good figurine. Figurine? How posh do I sound? Toy. It's my toy of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Welcome to this episode of the Limitation Is A Mirage podcast. This week's been a great week so far since the last podcast. I've done a lot of bonus interviews for you, and I just realized that I know a lot of people, but more importantly, I know a lot of people who live extraordinary lives. So it's just been amazing for me this week just to spend time talking about, like, I'm talking with world champions, I'm talking with people who are the best in their field. I'm just getting to interact with people that just do things way beyond I would have imagined possible when I was younger, when I was at school, or when I started doing all of this stuff. And then it helps me realize how far I've come from what I was told I would achieve, what I thought I would achieve, and what I've actually achieved. And the fact that I don't think that where I am is the end. I think that I can still go further. So whenever I'm talking with people, my goal is always to get through to people that they can be and do whatever they want to do. Like if I had a superpower, that's what it would be. It would be to just help people unlock their potential. And I started thinking about ways that have unlocked mine and things that I've done in my life that have created the person that I am, and the way I am with my challenges, the way I am with the things that I want to achieve in life. And even like in the gym, randomly this week, Kevin Costner came up, the best Robin Hood ever, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, who is right there. This is my figurine from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I don't know where his cloak and stuff is, but good figurine. Figurine? How posh do I sound? Toy. It's my toy of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Whenever I was in the gym on, I think it was Friday or maybe Monday, or I can't remember. Friday or Monday. It wasn't Monday because that was yesterday. So Friday it was, I was in the gym and I was doing my workout and I was getting a bit tired and fatigued. And then if I ever listen to music, it's like things from movies or some piano music, or I listen to an audiobook or a podcast. Generally when I'm in the gym, I try not to listen to anything that's lyrics, because it'll distract my breathing, it'll distract what I'm doing, and I might get into the song more than I'm getting into the actual workout. So I try my best not to have lyrics in the song. And in amongst my movie soundtrack or Spotify list is the Kevin Costner Prince of Thieves song, but it's like the triumphant song where it's like everything's going on triumphantly, and that just like got me real psyched out again in the gym. So it was like I just got a breath of fresh air just hit me, and I got a second wind, and I just powered on. And this story makes no sense without a backstory, but if you think about it, just a little part of a tune popped on and it re-energized me, re-engaged me, and just made me go full pelt back at what I was doing. And that comes from whenever I was younger, whenever the movie came out, Mum bought me the VHS, so a tape. For anyone who doesn't know what a VHS is, Google it. But she bought me it. So I think originally she rented it from Kevlin Video Store. And then when I watched it twice. The first day I got it, and then the next day I watched it again, and then I had to leave it back. So eventually Mum bought me it. And I watched it pretty much every day, at least once, until the tape broke. And I don't know why, but that movie just really like resonated with me in some manner. I just loved the whole storyline. I liked the way, I just liked everything about it. I still watched it. It was like randomly it was on Sunday, so I watched a lot of it on Sunday as well. To the point like Sean was in the room and Mum was in the room, and I'm able to say to them that scene was cut from the old days, and this scene's been cut a wee bit, but they took out the middle. Just like I'm able to watch the movie, and I could tell you exactly what's going on at any point, to the point where what was cut out when I had my tape when I was younger. So that just got me thinking about the things that we've done growing up that can connect us. So that's a positive for me. Like that positive, but if Kevin Costner comes on, I get psyched. Like my other favorite film is Waterworld. He's in it as well. So it got me thinking, was it just Kevin Costner or was it the actual movies? I don't know. Either way, the both movies are awesome. and nobody can deny that. But they are powerful, like, anchors for me. The music comes on from either one of those, or someone mentions a scene from it, or I see a character or an actor from that movie in a different movie, and it just like gives me like a good feeling and gets me like revitalized. Even if I'm not feeling down, it just makes me feel better. It's something I always say, that you shouldn't wait till you feel bad to try to feel better. It's just try to feel better all the time. And if you already feel amazing and you try to feel better, then that's only going to be a good thing. Whereas if you wait till you feel down and then you have to get over feeling down to start to feel amazing, to feel good, to build your way up from it, the more that you do in your day-to-day life that just makes you feel great, the better. But it got me thinking of the other side of that too. There's probably TV shows and things that anchor me that I dislike. Like, I remember playing on the Sega Looney Tunes. So it was like you were like a baby Looney Tune. And to my shame, I also liked Boyzone when I was younger. So Boyzone was playing in the background, and the Looney Tunes game, I was playing it, and there was a level in it that was just like, it was like they were on acid or something. I don't know what happened. They must have got like smoked, or something happened where everything went a bit crazy. But now that I'm older, I look back, it was just what you would imagine people on acid were seeing the world. And everything was all over the place, and it was really hard to watch. And the songs were, when you think back about it now, the songs were shit. So it was really messing with my head, and it started to make me feel kind of sick, to the point that I had to turn the game off and just not play it. I couldn't play that level. I think I ended up getting Sean to get me past that level, and then I played on. But if I ever saw that game again, I imagine it would make me feel the same way as it did when I played it. Because I know there's a certain Boyzone song that if I ever hear it, it makes me go, ugh. And I just immediately am flashed into sitting on the bunk bed, just hunched over and playing this horrible game, listening to this shit music, and just curtains closed, and just not being in a great place, really. But I was only about 13 or 12 or 14 or whatever age I was. So I think I was in Stroud Park, so I would have been around 12, 13. I probably could look it up, when were Boyzone famous or liked, and when did the Looney Tunes game come out, and then. But I don't want to look at any of those two things because it'll just make me feel bad. So there's loads of things that's me thinking about it. So if I wasn't aware and that song came on, that would make me feel like I just not feel 100%. And I probably, if I wasn't paying attention, I wouldn't link it up. But because I'm pretty self-aware, I can look back at things like when I had the food anxiety, it was spicy food that triggered me. So I knew to just avoid that before I knew that I could overcome that. I avoided it first. So I guess the point I'm trying to get at is, one, you should watch Waterworld and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, because like that's going to make you feel good because they're great movies. And two, I'm doing three, but two is you're going to have loads of anchors that make you feel good, make you feel bad, and it's really important to be aware of those. So if for some reason I'm just training in the gym, or I'm going for a walk and something makes me feel good, I immediately like zone in. I'd be like, is it a smell? Is it a sound? Is it a sight? Like, what is it that triggered that good feeling? So I can lock that in so that I know that that's something that makes me feel good. And the opposite, if I have a bad night's sleep, I'll look at that and go, what is it? Generally, it's the heat. I hate trying to sleep in the heat. I'm not good at it. I have windows open, doors open, covers off, and I still be roasted. And this house is roasting all the time. So I know that it's the heat. So if I go to bed and it's really warm, I know I need to do things to cool me down before I'm going to be able to get to sleep. And it might just be the case of hanging your feet out the end of your bed or something like that. It's actually been proven scientifically that cooler feet helps you sleep better. So there's a wee tip for you if you're struggling with sleep. Keep your feet uncovered or do something to cool them down before you get into bed. And that is more likely to help you get off to a better night's sleep. But that's not what I'm talking about right now. What I'm talking about is I tune in. So if I know that's like I know the heat, so I would never have the heat on if I'm in charge of it. It would never be on whenever I'm going to sleep because that just doesn't make sense. If I know what way the heat works in the house, I will change my sleeping pattern to avoid it. When I go to hotels, I'll say to them, like, I need to know how to work out the air conditioning so I can turn everything off and open a window so that I'm cool. So that's one trigger. The other, obviously, is the food trigger. So it's worth being aware of the things that trigger you for good and trigger you for bad, because if you have these two things, if you know what they are, then you can do more of the good and clear away the bad. So with talking to all these guys this last while, I've done 4 interviews this week, and all of them it had come up about like being comfortable with yourself and knowing who you are, but having the strength and will to cut people out from your life who aren't there to support you, who aren't there for your higher good. A lot of people will hold on to relationships, whether it's love relationship, family relationship, or friend relationship. That doesn't sound right. Friendship, because they've invested in it. They'll say things like, I know this relationship isn't working, but we've been together for 10 years. Like, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, I want you to fucking not waste another 10. I want you to move on from it if it's not for your higher good. Approach it, talk to them, try to work it out. If that's not working, move on. Like, be strong enough to just move on in your life. And that can be friends, and the hardest one is family, and it comes up a lot when I talk about this. And they'll say, but what are you going to do about family? You can't just not be in their family. What you can do is spend less time with the people that really pull you back. Spend less mental time even thinking about the stuff that they said about you or the way they treat you or whatever it is that makes you feel like that they're a negative influence in your life. And the third one is to just like avoid them as much as you can. You could approach them. The fourth one, I suppose, would be approach them and say, here, you're a bit of an asshole. Is there any chance you'd stop being an asshole? But the problem with people who are assholes are a lot of time they don't believe they are, and most time they don't care either. So it's just a waste of your time to confront these people. You're better off just moving forward and just living your life. Working on more of the things that make you feel good than the things that make you feel bad. For example, getting a toy figure of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Like, this thing's pretty old. It's probably like 95 or 94 or something when I would have got this. So, like, it's about 15 years old. He's in good shape. He's got none of his skills anymore. For people just listening, they can't see that I'm swinging around my Kevin Costner. Look how glorious his hair and everything is. And that must be his bow positioned hands. Actually learned how to shoot a bow a few years ago because why not? I suppose would be just fits with all of the rest of the things that I do with my life, but just made me more Robin Hood-esque. And I remember whenever I was there asking the guys that train and that are good at it, can I get one of them behind? There's probably a name for it, but like a behind the shoulder holder for arrows, whatever it would be called. Quiver is the word I was looking for. I took a drink to think. Behind the back quiver, so I could like pull out and shoot. But they told me that wasn't the best way of shooting. You're better having it at your side. And they gave me various other reasons, which I didn't really care about. I just wanted to be Robin Hood. And one day I got to go out and shoot in the forest in a competition that I actually came third in. We got a wee tiny trophy, but I don't know where it is. But just trust me that I came third in my first ever archery competition. Seems to be a thing when I enter random sports, I come third. I just don't be good enough to get to that top level, but I just pass myself enough. So again, I just brought up the archery because of the Robin Hood thing, and I thought about it. It's another thing that I know that if I'm having a bad day and I just go out and into the garden and shoot a few arrows at the wee boss, that the wee boss is a target, not a person. It just makes me feel better. It just makes me have, like, it's a fun thing to do. It engages me mentally and creatively. So same with meditating. I talk a lot about meditating and everything. Pretty much what I've learned today or this week from speaking to all these different people and being introduced to new people that I've never met that are going to come on the podcast as well. I have been surrounding myself with incredible people for a long time, and it's why I live the life that I live. It's why I am so creative. I'm happy to be by myself, but I'm happy to be around people because the people that I'm around are interesting to be around. They do incredible things. They live the life that they want to live. They're not trying to live for other people, or like you'll hear on the podcast when I'm chatting to people that the conversation flows quite well, and it's so open to just go in and talk about anything. Same as me doing this one on my own. Like I just go from one thing to the other, but it all still underlies the same thing, that my goal in my life has always been longevity. So for me, longevity is living a long, healthy life. So what that means is I want to be physically healthy, nutritionally healthy, mentally healthy, and happy. That's what I want to be. I don't see the point in living a long life if I'm sedentary, if I'm sluggish, if I'm weak, if I feel tired all the time, fatigued, and mentally struggling, emotionally struggling. That would not be ideal. So that's what I want to live for me. And that's what I want to help the people I work with, to help the people that I surround myself with. So it's why, and it does annoy people a lot, I'm quite quick to point out when people are doing things that I think from experience or from a personal opinion, whichever way you want to take it. If I think that it's hurting you, it's detrimental to your life, I will point it out. If it's business related, if it's relationship related, if it's just physically, mentally, emotionally going to damage you, I have no problem bringing it up and pointing it out. Some people like it, some people don't like it. But for me, I would think that, like, if I noticed you were going to walk out in front of a car and I don't tell you because I think you don't like to be interrupted when you're talking, that, in my head, that's just the same as me pointing out to you that what you're doing in your business could be done better from my experience, or what you're doing in your relationship probably isn't the best thing for you mentally or emotionally. That's just my opinion. I think it's my job. If I notice these things from the life experience I have, the educational experience I have, and the mentorship experience I have, if I notice the things that I wouldn't have noticed that back before I knew all this stuff, if I notice it and I don't tell you, then I'm doing you a disservice as a friend, and I'm doing myself a disservice as the Prove It guy, as the guy who lives life to the fullest, who wants to be inspirational, who wants to help people, who wants people to improve around them, and wants to improve myself. So that got quite deep compared to my Kevin Costner conversation a moment ago. But that's what I think people should do. I think people should surround themselves with people that raise them up. If anyone's cutting you down, then just cut them out. That's a good wee quote. If they're cutting you down, cut them out, or whatever I said. I'll have to rewind it. And then just try to live the best life for you. You only get this one chance to do it. You're going to look back. There's probably plenty of people that have left you, that when they left, you were devastated. And now you think, why did I waste so much time with those people? So now's your chance to reevaluate who you are and why you do the things you do, and then what you could do to improve that. Make a mental or physical list of the things that drag you down and the things that build you up, and then do more of the things that build you up. So thanks again for tuning in. I hope you have an amazing day, whatever you get up to. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. If you want to keep up to date, then just hit the wee bell and subscribe and tell your friends and share everything and tell people that I'm amazing, and just do things that involve people coming and listening to the podcast, so it grows and everyone grows around it. So thanks again. Have an amazing day, whatever you get up to, and I will speak to you again soon.